Great evening, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, very weak. Good evening. I said great evening. Everybody together. Great evening. Great evening. That's better. Andre, Suresh, Onassis, other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is said that it's not the activity of the wicked that is the problem, but it is the inactivity of the rest that is the root cause. And as we see in our lifetime, that many of the great social evils are swept under the carpet because of such ignorance. And truly, as a police officer, as a social engineer, I have realized that the greatest prophylactic for crime is spreading awareness. And that's what led me in the year 1993, after much cogitation and wondering what I should do to transform the image of the police. It led me to launch this movement called the Friends of Police. And it's in that spirit, I think, that Onassis has conceived this genius of an idea of bringing a coalition of forces, of NGOs, of governmental agencies, and committed volunteers to fight this global epidemic. Because it's truly a global epidemic when you look at the numbers. We have as many as 31 million people who have become victims of one or the other form of human trafficking, either for sex or for bonded labor. This number is equivalent to the size of the population of Andre's country, Canada. And as the compare said, the daily trafficking is the equivalent of how many Boeings you said? 8? Four. So before it becomes 8, we need to get into action. And it requires the entire population of nations to be conscientized. If we are sufficiently conscientized, that itself would lead to such a spread of awareness. And that awareness would lead to actionable information, which is basically, by definition, intelligence, what the police call intelligence, actionable information. Every one of you sitting here and outside is privy to such actionable information or intelligence every day of our lives. When you travel in a train and you see a vagrant woman carrying a child who doesn't share the features of the supposed guardian or mother, what should strike your mind as a sensitized citizen? I once had a call from a young person, actually a friend of police, saying, "Sir, I see a child with blue eyes and completely different features in the lap of a traveling gypsy in this train. And before they alighted, I could send someone to check out. And the woman could not really establish that she is the mother of that child. As Commissioner Trichy sensitized to this issue, I started something called Operation Missing Child and asked the entire police force of the city to focus on just this issue for a period of 10 days. And during that short phase itself, we were able to come across at least a handful of children who had either run away or were separated from their guardians or parents. The Friends of Police movement has been instrumental in saving and protecting many such potential victims or victims of trafficking. I heard of the case of a guy person pleading helplessness when he received a call from a victim who had been abducted from this area and had been pushed into the flesh trade, a male that too, had been pushed into the flesh trade in Mumbai. So it's not as if only the female, of course, is more susceptible. Children are more susceptible, as one of the panel speakers said. 80% of the victims are with the objective of the sex trade, or what I call the crimson trade, the most horrendous of crimes. And therefore there is a need for a multi-pronged approach. There is a need for all agencies of government and in the private sector to come together. There is a need, as Suresh mentioned, that CSR, which is compulsory today, is mobilized to support such movements because it needs immense resources, not just a coming together of hands and minds, but it requires resources to put together a network. Why is it that only the criminals are so organized? The terrorists are so organized. They have the best of technology, the best of communication facilities. You could even see in a recent attack how they were using satellite phones for communication so that they are not tracked. In the current world, when we should be calling ourselves a postmodern society which is rid of all these ills, today we have far more slaves living, as we are speaking, around the world than ever before. Should we look for an Abraham Lincoln, or should each of us imbibe that spirit of a Lincoln, that passion to regard human life as sacred, whether it be ours, whether it be the life of a person from another race, or the opposite gender, or whether it is an infant. The horrendous aspect of this crime is that children as young as 8, 9, and above are used for pandering to the sexual needs of troops. The kind of crimes that are happening in the name of so-called warfare and terrorism in the Middle East would send Hitler into hiding in shame. Some of the most barbaric incidents of man's inhumanity to humanity is happening right now. And if all right-thinking people around the world come together and put their minds, their hands, their legs, their resources into this mission of Saath Chalo, or coming together, not just forces in Tamil Nadu, but forces across the country, because we need to think globally and also act globally. And thanks to the use of social media, it is possible for connecting with people across the globe instantly to share information. I see in this audience some of you who have quietly been champions of anti-trafficking, and you have been sensitive to even certain posts on Facebook, and I brought it to the notice of the law enforcement agency, the police, and have got those illegal websites of even children's photos. Those children look like the children of the next door family. We cannot ignore such things. It could be our child tomorrow. Who knows, when a child goes to school and is returning, that child is not being identified as a potential victim. We hear of cases of women traveling alone in a train to reach Mumbai, and then the woman is found missing and would be untraced till this date. Where do these bodies disappear? They go into subterranean areas of darkness. And this is our duty in this age of great commitment and great awareness to ferret out these evil forces, whether they come in the guise of terrorist armies. It's a time to mobilize opinion across the world that such evils are deterred. I was shocked 2 days ago to hear of a child. Of course, it's not human trafficking. But look at the extent of man's inhumanity to woman or man. And I would challenge this movement called Saath Chalo, which should spread across the country and then across the world, that you wake up people. As the Tata campaign says, Jago, first wake up people to the extent of this crime and this network. The network will break when all of us are united. When deterrence is built into laws. When people start reporting in their neighborhood anything that they suspect, then that kind of deterrence would prevent anyone from depriving the freedom of another. Freedom is so valuable, but it should not be used to exploit another and to deprive another of his or her freedom. And this is the time when, on a war footing, this kind of a movement is launched. I'm glad that a lead organization in this field for many decades, not just in India but across the world, the IGM, has played a role in supporting this movement and being a key partner. I think other organizations like World Vision, educational institutions across Chennai, across Tamil Nadu and across the country should also partner with this. I cannot speak for the whole of the police force, but I do believe that the police force has also been sensitized. I remember some 10 years ago when I was the DIG training, under the auspices of the UN ODC, we organized several capacity building training courses and seminars for investigating officers from the rank of inspector or upward. And these training courses were also replicated in all the districts. And 10 years ago, where there was not a single anti-human trafficking unit, today the state of Tamil Nadu has an anti-human trafficking unit not just in Chennai, which is an area of greater awareness, but also in the areas of darkness, like the Mofussil towns and districts of Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu is a state that has pioneered many great new initiatives, and I'm sure that this initiative also would catch and set light to the torch of the movement for freedom of slaves in this age, in every state. Thank you.